was screaming, what about the economy in a teacup? Oh, caught. Ew, he ate it. Ew. No context British.
Right, this is probably not going to go well. First game against Melbourne. Top 2 in the world. Well, let's see if we can get a game. I used to be pretty good at him because he would let me go greedy. Problem with this map is I seem to only have one. I guess that's my next base. Why is my frame rate so bad? Neither of us have great expansion options. He probably wants to go here.
Yes, George, the Alphonse.
Can't really one base all in with this deck. You're gonna die now. Wait, the snakes are just gonna come on. Can't go for the mill. Well, yep, that's a big loss. Anything other than snakes I could have dealt with. Well, I guess falcons as well, but people don't usually go falcon first.
Hey, jog full out.
Turn up the audio. You mean my audio? How's that? Or do you mean the game? It's also an unusually aggressive stance from Melvin. Usually he likes to just eco up a lot more. Kind of expecting him to hang back. I should have gone for the second tier 2 Warren. I either shouldn't have taken the second tier 2 Warren, or I shouldn't have taken the mill. I needed an extra couple of squirrel Warrens so I could gun down those snakes. Well, I didn't know they were going to be snakes, but I maybe should have. I gambled and lost.
Yes, George, Philadelphia wants. Lo io insieme.
That was an accidental dunk Warren, but it probably worked out. Threw off his scouting. Okay, I need to go to Falcons pronto.
Thousands voyage hard. In sie hetchen higgs chirkis. Janavu.
Really? Oh, excuse me.
Baharsh, Yoginiat Nuches.
He's gone straight for a tier 3. because I need to start getting mine out. Go for badger.
Jest wziąć wiodia wąs.
Jan Zalsek.
Jo reglo jo sitte gemar.
Japu.
Don't think we're gonna have time.
Look.
Got to skip tier 3. Oh, come on! Well, that was depressing. Marius, Jordy, Lena, Panoramic. Honestly, if I hadn't run into Melvin first, I probably whatever. It happens. So we got QQ with Squirrel, Ferret, Raccoon, Fox, Machine Gun Arty against Squirrel, Pigeon, Falcon, Cam, Wolf, Mine. So QQ is, you know, heavily favoured here, just on player experience. Doesn't have a great map. Well, he's got an alright map with the arty. If he takes this and puts an artillery down, hell, even if he just puts an artillery down just on that path there, he's probably clearing most of this if he's got high ground vision. He really wants to take this mill though so he can build up here and give himself a high ground. Instead we're going for 5 farm double lizard. Marius has scouted it, going for 6 farm double squirrel. So he needs to focus the squirrels down as they come up to stop his lizards from dying. He gets a warren, 2 squirrels, he loses 1 lizard so far. And then again, knock off another squirrel, knock out another warren. You gonna get away with it? Okay, with no warrens, it's really hard for Marius to actually do anything to stop this. He can put some mines down though. He really should be putting mines down while QQ's away. I need to focus fire the lizards. Pig micro is a thing as well, you can target fire with him. But QQ has got 8 farms behind this, so he's probably won the game off the back of this. I didn't think he'd have time, but... you know, lizards like this, they can snowball pretty quickly. And Marius, he needs to keep his stuff in the warrens so that they can't be picked off. And he really should be putting some mines down. Some mines here, there's a pretty tight choke. A couple of mines could definitely get. He left his warrens again and his pigs, which he really can't afford to be doing. That's a quick game, 1 to QQ. Lizard, toad, boar, owl, wolf, fox. 4 tier 3s for QQ against squirrel, pigeon, falcon, cam, wolf, mine. So, we'll see if we actually get to the late game here. Has this base, which is pretty safe, especially with lizards. You can respond quickly. So assuming we don't see another rush down, we should have an alright time getting to his late game. I'm just really annoyed I got knocked out in the first round. Would have liked to at least get 1 game off Melvin. He played differently from how I expected him to. Maybe I've not been keeping up enough with my Melvin gameplay. On a search. I didn't expect the quick snakes either time. Well, the second time I expected them, but he got around and knocked out 2 farms, and that set me back enough that I wasn't able to get a wolf out. I just couldn't get that badger down. He went low a lot of times, but he had just too many pigeons. Right, well, QQ coming around with his lizards now. All the squirrels bunched up here would be fine for Marius. Again, he can just put a mine or 2 down here to cut it off. Going for cams makes sense from what he's seen. And how well are the toads going to do? Okay, Marius being the first one to expand, while also getting his tier 2 out. The tougher map than it looks for Marius. This mill is completely blocked off. He has to go all the way around. And these 2, they aren't blocked off because he's got this little pathway here. But they're blocked off enough, especially this one, that the lizards can probably run around. Marius retreating, he probably could have taken that. Maybe could have taken that fight. He needs to make sure he just doesn't lose everything on the toes here. Oh, those are some pretty big toad hits, it looked like. Although actually they didn't kill much. They basically all blew up on 1 warren. But one of them was a tier 2 one, I think. Unless that Falcon one got sold. There's definitely a Squirrel one gone. Mario's still thinking about this. Going for a lot of tier 2. If he gets all of this up, he's in a good spot, but the time and the expense, well, he would be in a good spot, except QQ's up so many farms. Still though, 4 cams, 4 falcons, he should be able to push on this, on the lizard toad. He needs to not let this happen though. As I was saying, this is a good map for QQ having this like way to run in. If the army's even slightly out of position, Marius can quickly lose a lot. Okay, another commander death is going to buy Marius time. He's got most of his stuff up. All the falcons are paid for. He's down 1 cam. QQ going for a wolf. Problem is, if Marius moves out without knowing that QQ's here, then QQ can just jump on this and go for a base race. So Marius needs to... Okay, Marius is going to find it. He needs to take another mill to avoid getting base raced. And he needs to put the pressure on. Because look at this, QQ's got a mill here, he's definitely looking for a base race. Marius really needs to take another mill so he doesn't get auto-killed. But all the while, QQ's got the eco and he's building up a wolf behind this. No, don't get sucked in, Marius! You need to hit the lizards. QQ's just going to go for the mill. Yep. Base race. Jordy and Lena have ever played, so it's Sasha. Sasha Panoramic. Melvin says he has no time, he wants to go straight to QQ. So we got Squirrel, Toad, Pigeon, Mole, Ferret, Falcon from QQ against Squirrel, Pigeon, Falcon, Skunk, Badger, Owl from Melvin. No tier 3 from QQ, no tier 3 from Melvin. This is a very Melvin map, especially with the deck he's got. It's really large. There's no direct route to his opponent. He's got to go all the way around all this junk in the middle. And Melvin has at least 2, possibly 4 mills he can take safely, in a very safe place to build up his tier 3s. Whereas QQ has no really good position to siege from with his ferrets, with Melvin on the double high ground for his main and single for his expansion. It's going to be tough. And QQ has no late game to really build into. He's going Falcon first, which... it's kind of a weak tier 2 to start with because it loses to tier 1s. which your opponent is probably going to be building. He's hiding some moles up here. I wonder if I think QQ's going to try and fly his falcons over and attack the mill. But if Melvin scouts, which he will, he should know this is coming. Melvin's a pretty switched on player. The mole's got sold. Yep, here comes the falcon. But QQ doesn't really have anywhere to hide. And Melvin has stuff that can... Well, not... He's got one falcon. I'll have a second one probably by the time it gets here. Yeah, QQ's called that falcon back. He's also gone for his ferrets. So both players have 6 squirrels and they're double tier 2s. Falcon ferret gets falcon skunk. QQ's falcon's looking for another, but going back. Who's going to expand first? QQ going for toads now. More stuff that doesn't shoot up. And Melvin's going for 4 falcons, so this might backfire against QQ. Trying to prevent the scout. He's not really got anything secret, unless he's trying to keep the toads a secret. QQ's taking the mill. Building more falcons. And now we're going to take the mill or go for tier 3. Looks like we're getting a fight here. QQ trying to bring his falcons forward so that Melvin tries to ferret dance with them, then the falcons can shoot them. No real damage done there to either player. Melvin floating a lot of food. There goes the badger. QQ with some moles and a farm. QQ's going to spend so long like babysitting his army, he's not going to scout this. Okay, we're getting some actual bloodshed now. My falcon going down from Melvin. QQ chasing the army. Trying to get his toads in for the squirrels. They're all dying. One blows up in the mill, which is actually pretty significant. That mill tank thing can happen. The skunk's basically taking out all of the ground forces for QQ. Can he get the falcons down? He can. But so does Melvin. Melvin is supply blocked. And now without the expansion, QQ has the eco advantage. This might be a QQ win here. What is Melvin going to sell? Sells enough tier 1 to get the badger up. Well, badger cooking at the very least. Thing is for QQ now, what are these ferrets doing for him? He's only on 3 farms, which is actually even with Melvin. Somehow. I mean, Melvin's going to start fallowing and QQ will serve this one. Melvin must have been slower to get his farms up. But how does QQ deal with this badger? Melvin is in starvation, so he has to sell more tier 1. QQ just still hasn't scouted this badger. And I'm very worried that it's going to take him by surprise. It's out now. There's only 3 pigeons. And 6 squirrels. So it's not got a huge amount of support. But Melvin is a good badger player. QQ sees it now. Hope they're poised enough to get it down. The rest of the army is all dead. That is the only thing left that can shoot these falcons, but it does. Yeah. Even without the pigeon healing, there just wasn't enough army. I wonder if QQ could have gone back. That badger didn't have any healing or any backup. And Melvin couldn't rebuild his army. QQ was on 1 farm, but that would have been 1 farm more. So if he went back, he sold like his ferret falcons, he might have been able to get up enough tier 1 to deter. Maybe not. What was the maximum number of squirrels he could have had? Like 12? I don't know if that would have been enough. Because some of his tier 1 was pigeon, a mole and toad as well. So that's game... Is that just game 1? No, well, we're going for squirrel, pigeon, mole, falcon, skunk, badger for QQ against squirrel, pigeon, falcon, skunk, badger, owl for Melvin. It's a very similar decks. Mole for QQ instead of owl for Melvin. QQ has a very safe expansion. Pocket mill. QQ... No, sorry. QQ has this really safe expansion. Melvin's perfectly fine. He's got options to expand out in multiple directions. And he basically gets claim to every other mill on the map. Like, this is QQ... This is the safest expansion, but it's also really QQ's only expansion. So if this goes to a 3 mil game, QQ's going to be in trouble. We get to the 10-minute mark. QQ's going to have to try and expand out here. And if Melvin had expanded in this direction, he would have cut that off entirely. This would move him closer towards QQ, so maybe he just doesn't want to. Melvin is by nature a defensive player. We've done a lot of tier 1. Not committing to the expansion. QQ is committing to the expansion. At least so far. I think he will. Melvin got the skunk. His opponent's only got squirrels. And Melvin's expanding as well. Does QQ see the tier 2? He does. Now what tier 2 do you think QQ thinks that is? Is he predicting skunks, falcons, cams, snakes, raccoons? Probably not ferrets. He's building some moles though, he wants to go in. I don't know if he's got the forces to make this work. He's got a really long reinforcement distance, his moles weren't there. Yeah, his army gets pretty obliterated. Luring Melvin into these rocks is going to be helpful terrain for him. Doesn't really look like it mattered. Once again, Melvin takes a win, and it's a win right on QQ's doorstep. He's not going to have time to rebuild really. He's got a lower squirrel count and lower tech. Loses a farm. Loses 3 farms. Yeah. Melvin just tearing through people at the moment. Let's see how Sasha's doing against... let's see how Panoramic's doing against Sasha. Because Sasha, aka Deep Sea, aka gives examples without meaning, is another... The top 3 players are probably Tatanka, Melvin, Deep Sea, in, you know, some order. I'd say Sasha is probably consistently the 3rd. It's like maybe 2nd, and Melvin or Tatanka are 1 or 2. I'd say I put it as Tatanka, Melvin, Sasha, and then I guess it would be this guy maybe. Who's 5th? Like R22 perhaps. Anyway, we'll do our best to catch up here. Squirrel, toad, pigeon, falcon, raccoon, boar against squirrel, lizard, falcon, skunk, snake, boar. Sasha always has like the boar. Building a very far forward snake warren, protected by this cabin. We'll start shooting his units when they come out. Has to get to rush in with the snake. Kills a couple of squirrels. It's not going to kill the raccoon. He's knocked down the campfire, the cabin. Tier 2 exchange. Panoramic's actually doing well here. His pigeon's really mitigating the effects of the snakes. Got a fresh wave of squirrels come up. And Sasha's able to drive Panoramic back, but he is the 1 supply block on his tier 2s. Could honestly consider selling the snakes at the moment, but it's hard to sell out of stuff like that because their commitment to build. He's trying to move into lizards. It makes sense, but Panoramic's now got toads. He's got enough to really push through. I think we caught up. I don't know if it's game 1 or game 2. We spent over 5 minutes with one of the games at least because the farms followed. So this is probably game 2. Sasha is struggling to deal with Panoramic. He's got a lot of toads here. Just needs to get them to avoid. I was going to say, if he had a lot of lizards, he just needs to get them to avoid toads. But he doesn't. And that's going to be GG. Does Panoramic catch out Sasha? That would be a surprise. An upset. I think that was like... No, I think it's probably 1-1. Squirrel, Falcon, Skunk, Cam, Wolf, Mine from Panoramic against Squirrel, Falcon, Skunk, Cam, Snake, Raccoon from Sasha. Almost all the tier 2s. No ferrets, but they're kind of an odd one out amongst the tier 2s. Map-wise, not much in it. I'd probably rather have Panoramics with these, like, 3 bases. This one's a little out of the way for Sasha. It's going to be hard for him to defend. if he's trying to also watch over here. These two are really close, so they're going to pressure each other, but there's this one down here as well for Panoramic, which is more on his side to start with. He's also got this cabin, which is pretty safe. He could just take that for a quick extra farm, which can matter a lot. Sasha's walking into a mine. Panoramic really doesn't have anything to follow up on it with. It'd be nice if he could get that and put one health on his squirrel. Okay, Panoramic sells the building farm, loses the other one, so this is 120 food he's lost. Plus the mine, which I guess killed a squirrel, so he traded for itself. Definitely a win for Sasha, who's got his mill up with 2 farms. Panoramic. Thinking about moving out? Kind of has to get something done. Like, he's gonna probably just fall behind if he tries to play defensive here. This is a decent enough break point for the skunks. Tries to lure them into the mines as well. Is that going to be enough? Raccoons are surprisingly tanky. It stays alive at 1 HP, and the skunk dies. If Panoramic had killed both of the raccoons and kept both of his skunks alive, that might have been enough to flip the game. Still, it was almost a good fight, but Sasha is ahead on army and on eco. Gonna lose the farm. Yeah, I think he's gonna lose the game here. Kills another raccoon. He is going to defend. That raccoon's going to get away. He really wants to kill it, but I think with the roads... Like, look at this chase. It is cornered, though. He's going to turn around and deal with these squirrels. Finally gets it. But it's going to cost him his own skunk. No, it's not. Not yet, at least. He's getting a few more hits in. But Sasha's got the reinforcements. The raccoon hunt stalled long enough. And remember, Sasha is multiple farms ahead while this is all going on. So Panoramic actually sells the skunks, goes straight into just mass squirrel. And takes a mill up at the top. It looks like Panoramic's going for a base race type of game plan. Now, squirrels aren't ideal for that. I prefer lizards because they move quicker and deal more damage. So they can burst the mill down more efficiently. But Sasha noticed the territory move, I think. I don't know actually, that's not enough. it on the map? It might be. Yeah, I think it is. So we spotted it. Now he just needs to not leave his mills undefended. Or make sure he at least has one spare, which is why he's taking this one. Just get knocked down. Now can Panoramic take this? Sasha has no anti-tier 1. He does have a lot of snakes. They're not great at killing tier 1s, but they are fine at tanking. They got 30 health. It takes a lot for the spears to get through it. And the spears do eventually get through it, but it takes all of them. Now, once again, Sasha just has reinforcements. He has so many more farms. Panoramic is just not going to be able to take out a mill with what he's got. This handful of squirrels just aren't going to be up to this task. Now Panoramic's lost his mill, he's in starvation. Really don't see any way back for him here. He has a mill he can build stuff on, but he needs to go back and sell some warrens. He needs to sell warrens anyway, just to get his squirrels supplied. But Sasha chases him down, and they're all dead. Have just been having some games. Oh right, yeah, I should go back and watch. We already did the next one, so let's watch Geordie versus Sasha. squirrel, lizard, ferret, falcon, skunk, snake, squirrel, squirrel, toad, pigeon, ferret, falcon, raccoon. Both players, their expansions lead them towards each other, which means they're both vulnerable to siege. So both vulnerable to ferrets. So I'd give the advantage to Sasha for having the high ground. Especially because Geordie doesn't have pigeons as a cheap high ground vision unit. I have to make do with falcons, which are tier 2 and kind of pricey. But they are units he probably wants to be getting at anyway in a ferret game. But also he's got lizards, which would be good against a ferret like this tier 2 heavy deck Sasha's got, except Sasha's taken the toads. Probably as a way to preempt that. Now, Sasha going for the tier 2s early. Is that going to leave him open? Geordie sacrifices his army to get a farm. He does kill some tier 1 as well. Probably not an equal amount. Probably could have cut his losses. But taking out a farm is pretty big. I didn't quite have enough track of the unit numbers to know if he actually lost it. Like a farm, you're like killing a farm. If you lose 5 tier 1s, and you're probably trading down. 4 is probably all right. It's somewhere on the border of 3 to 4 is what you're, well, is what you'd consider, you know, like a fair price for killing one of your opponent's farms, because it's not just the 60 food for the pig, it's also the, I think it's 20 seconds it takes to build, which is, you know, an extra 20 food, but that's also 20 food 20 seconds ahead that you're getting. Geordie looking for another, thinking about moving in again. Building snakes in the back. Sasha's going for his toads. Toads get huge hits. They killed all of the lizards, like half the squirrels, and took out warrens. That was one of the most efficient. Look at the army graph there. Look at that blue line just drop. That was one of the best toad experiences I think I've ever seen. Squirrel, mole, ferret, falcon, skunk, snake from Geordie against squirrel, toad, pigeon, ferret, falcon, raccoon from Sasha. watching more from Geordie. Sasha hasn't seen it. He probably wants to wait for 2 and then go for the ferret Warren. It's probably the most he can get out of it. He's nearly there. Okay, he's going for it. He's going for the tier 1. It gets sold. Wow. I did not get a lot done. Alright, well, I know the game's just started, but I kind of think Sasha's won off that. Getting out the quick ferrets uncontested. He doesn't have a great position to siege from. Actually, that's not true. He can come around here. And then Sasha, he's got a long way to... It's a long way for Geordie to come. Does he have the vision? He does. Ferret is also cornered there. But it has already traded up. 60 food, a tier 1 Warren plus a squirrel, that's 80 food. Now that he's got his own squirrels to support, definitely be more harassing. Kind of an awkward fight for everyone involved, with Geordie's coming from 2 sides but having fewer numbers. So Sasha lost both ferrets there, but he is still ahead. Because Geordie lost a tier 2 as well. He lost one of his snakes. Yeah, he needs to keep it alive, I was going to say. Get those poison tags on. But he's just marching through the squirrels. Doesn't have enough support. Squirrel's got it down. One of the farms dies. It's actually just getting a lot of little victories and they're adding up. Right. Ferrets are a very good unit to get more ahead. And yeah, that's going to be GG. Okay, well, so Geordie's waiting here for QQ, and Sasha's waiting here for Melvin. Squirrel Ferret, or Owl Fox. Wire. Squirrel, Ferret, Falcon, Skunk, Snake. What is it? 3 tier 3s for QQ. In fact, this QQ deck is actually... He runs stuff similar to this, except with Balloon instead of Owl. That's actually what I call the QQ deck, is what he's got now, but with Balloon instead of Owl. I think they're doing finals immediately. I think the finals are going on, so I think I have to go see that. Hello? Squirrel, Pigeon, Skunk, Raccoon, Badger Owl from Melvin against Squirrel, Pigeon, Ferret, Cam, Snake, Raccoon from Sasha. Yeah, unfortunately I can't do both at the same time. Melvin's in a real rush today. So he's not willing to wait. And it feels more important to stream finals, especially because QQ's streaming his own perspective of the bronze. Right, now if there's anyone in here who can beat Melvin, it's going to be Sasha. Let's see what he can do. Alright, Squirrel, Raccoon for both player. Not really a huge map advantage for anyone. Melvin is on the high ground, and I'd say a safer option for a third mill. This one's pretty exposed, especially if Sasha's taking this one. Oh wait, this is Sasha. Yeah, so Sasha's got the map advantage, but not by a huge amount. Melvin can certainly take these two bases and start pumping out tier 3s. Now Sasha's a very aggressive player and Melvin's a very defensive player, so it'll be interesting to see how they clash. I think Melvin is the favoured, as I said, but it's going to be closer than any other. About as close a matchup as you get at the top. Right, so a lot of one base play. Getting Cams out for Sasha, Skunks out for Melvin. Double Raccoons for Melvin as well. Well, Sasha's going for spamming a lot more tier 1. Probably why Melvin wants the Skunks. Finally an expansion, yep, 3 minutes. You kind of need to go to an expansion here, or commit to a one base. Be very surprised to see Melvin. I am very surprised to see Melvin not taking this base. He doesn't know that Sasha's expanded. Sasha's even put down a farm. Now, Sasha also has a higher army value at the moment. He's looking to attack. Yeah, it's going to be good strength here. That will just chew through all of these skills. Sasha's coming in. Found a good angle. No right angle. He's chasing all tools away with his hands, but they both die. Melvin loses 3 tier 3s as well, so it's not a terrible trade. Still not ideal for Sasha, but it's what you expect when you're attacking someone who hasn't spent any money on this time. If Sasha can just hold here without losing the farms, then he'll probably win the game off the back of just having this one extra farm. And kind of looks like he's about to, is he? Like, Melvin's pigeons just seem to be so much better than everyone else's. Keeping that tier 2 alive. The longer this game goes on, the more this one farm is going to matter. And Sasha does force Melvin to retreat. Melvin is about to start fallowing. He does get a base up. So this is where the already having the mill for Sasha matters a lot. But maybe he's sold down too much. I don't think he can really pressure Melvin, so Melvin's probably going to feel safe to eco up very quickly. Yep, 4 farms down immediately. Actually going to leapfrog Sasha. And another thing Sasha's got going for that Melvin has going for them, the raccoons in his deck, in his army, they're standing outside his territory, so they get the passive like food generation. So this is not quite an extra farm, this is 2/3 of a farm here. Whereas Sasha's keeping his raccoons by his base, so they're not getting to use their scavenge ability to get food. They are now. Now the positions are swapped. Sasha's so well behind on army. He does take out, or at least he takes out one farm, prevents a few others. Raccoons standing in the gas, taking out other raccoons and skunks. One of them gets gunned down, the other one does get away. Does get away. So a pretty even trade, but because Sasha prevented the farms going up, it's put him ahead on eco again, which is a really big deal. So once again, he's just got to try and hold. Melvin does have a better army at the moment, but a cannon at the flank really squashes those raccoons down. I think that might be too much for Melvin. Maybe not. Oh, the raccoon goes down. That's going to be 1 farm. That's going to be 2. So Sasha is still ahead on farms, but only by a small amount. This skunk is getting caught out. Melvin is in a rough spot. He goes back, he sells the skunks. Really going to want to get those raccoons, but there he doesn't have the time, I don't think. That's another farm of his dead. Yeah, I think if Sasha was willing to sit back and give Melvin 20 seconds to regroup, Melvin could hold, but as it stands, obviously Sasha isn't going to do that. And Melvin actually gets beaten, dropping a game. Now remember, this is a final, so it's best of 5, so Sasha can, even if Sasha wins this one, it doesn't mean he wins. So we got squirrel, pigeon, skunk, snake, badger, owl for Melvin against squirrel, pigeon, falcon, skunk, snake, badger for Sasha. So yeah, just Melvin's got the owl, Sasha's got the falcons. Otherwise, they're even Stevens. Melvin expanding. This is more on his usual timing. He likes to expand fast. This is very fast. He hasn't got any units out yet, but now to Sasha. And Sasha is going to have a trickier time expanding. I mean, this mill is fairly close, but it's going to have to take the corner, and it gives him a very wide front to watch. Whereas Melvin's really just watching this corner. But if this does go into the long game, Sasha has all the mills on this side to himself. Now here we go with a fight. Snake v snake, but also pigeons are involved. So everyone trades with everyone, everyone's dead. I think Melvin came out the better for that because Sasha's commander died, which means he wasn't able to focus fire, but it's not by a lot. And if Sasha gets up to 12 squirrels and Melvin doesn't have any more, then Sasha can definitely come in again, and I would expect him to. That's why Melvin sells his farm and is desperately putting down his own squirrels, but he needs time for them to rebuild. Of course, Sasha needs time to get over to Melvin, but there is a road and it's not a long distance in the first place. Is he going to go for the mill first? He is. That buys a bit more time as well. But he's going to knock Melvin's game plan off. Taz going everywhere, but Sasha has the pigeon. Melvin has the pigeons and the defender's advantage, so he's going to come out on top in that little skirmish. Well, he comes out, he keeps the snake alive, but losing the mill is not nothing. That is a 60 food, as much as a tier 2. And Melvin likes to expand. Sasha is probably going to feel more comfortable in this one base 1v1 type of scenario. Alright, double skunk coming out from Melvin. He wants to deal with those squirrels very efficiently. Sasha going for skunk and falcon. bit more quick DPS, getting his own pigeons as well. Is either player going to expand? Because we're about to hit the 5-minute mark. Only 30 seconds left, and it's very hard to regrow your economy from only 4 farms. Sasha has the money to expand. Melvin is taking a mill. Sasha is not. Sasha's going for extra falcons, so... Oh wait, is he? Honestly, if I was Sasha here, it's spooky, but you might want to just commit to the one base. Like, is this mill gonna get anything done for you? But I don't know. I assume Sasha is gonna be just attacking, but it looks like he might be willing to take this into a longer game. Because this is 180 food here. Well, that Sasha could be putting into army. And if he has, you know, an extra 180 food and he smashes through this, does Melvin actually have enough to hold? No. But now it's Melvin who's on the attack. Very clumped up unit. Melvin. Once the skunk snakes go down, there's nothing that can shoot up here with this falcon. The only falcon left, it was, it's been joined by a friend. So I'd say Sasha definitely won that fight. But he is behind an eco. Get down and catch up. Melvin committing hard to the snakes. 4 snakes. I guess there's not really enough tier 1 for there to be 4 skunks anymore. Another tier 1. Sasha supply blocking this snake even longer, going up to 4 farms. Actually wanted to get ahead in eco. Will that come back to bite him? Probably not, he's already ahead in army. And snakes don't scale hugely, but Melvin's got his 4 snakes out. That means things are even actually. Sasha's extra snake, his final snake is building. Both players trying to get their eco back online. Like, either player could attack, but it's an all-in gamble. Of course, if you did attack, you'd have the advantage of, like, you could probably trade armies and knock out your opponent's farms. Like, a lot is made a defender's advantage because it is very strong. You have 8 farms attacking, or you have, like, hiding in the warrens for extra health. But, and you've got the quicker reinforcement time, but it is attacker's advantage, where because you're fighting on your opponent's turf, it's your opponent's infrastructure that can get damaged. And that can be warrens or farms or even mills. So, with a base like this, where Melvin doesn't really have anything in front of his... doesn't have anything in front of his mill, you'd have to fight, fighting on it, and no ones to hide in. Means you could kill the army and get a couple of extra poison tags on the snakes, on the pigs. Even if you just take out one of them, could have been a big deal. But instead, both players just get up to 8 farms. Now, is anyone going to go for tier 3? We're approaching the 10-minute mark, so it doesn't look like any farms are close to following yet, but they're not going to be far off, a minute or two. And now this map really comes into Sasha's favour because Melvin has nowhere to expand. Like, Sasha's got a whole 4 mills he can take. Melvin can't. Like, and to secure any of these mills, Melvin basically has to have already beaten Sasha. Melvin has to win on this mill, which means he's on a timer. I think one of the first farms is going to start following at 11, so his eco's going to be getting worse. I don't know if he's going to be able to afford any tier 3, which is what his deck is sort of built up towards. The Falcons scale much better than any other tier 2, so they're sort of like a tier 2.5 in these sort of numbers. They kind of function as a tier 3. Sasha probably doesn't want to build the Badger given how many snakes Melvin has, but snakes really don't scale that well. Mass snake, like 6 snakes is really not going to get you much more advantage than 4. Where 6 falcons is going to get you a lot more advantage. So we get the 11, yeah, I called it 11 minutes. I was a bit late. But there we go. 2 farms down, whereas Melvin's expanding. Sasha is notoriously bad at scouting. Is he going to see this? He does. But Melvin's getting some tree grass down. And honestly, that stun gas is doing a lot of work. It's not doing anything to the falcons though. There's only 1 falcon left, but let's go down. Okay, so Melvin's got some decisions to make with the cells. Sells a snake lover and I think a squirrel as well, or pigeon. Gets his badger cooking. Sasha going for more snakes. He's keeping the 6 falcons. He's got the eco advantage. More farms are about to start following. Like, this is going to be tricky for Melvin. Like, Badger does not like moving into mass falcon or mass snake. And Sasha's going to have a bit of both. Melvin's usual way of countering it is to have enough pigeons that you can't realistically target the Badger, but he's only got 9 because he just doesn't have the eco to support huge amounts more. Melvin does have very good weapon, I'd say. It's got 2 farms. Pretty significant, actually. And the snake, the Sasha, they're hiding in the gas. They are there. Melvin's pulling back. He's even out the eco on paper, but these farms are about to follow. And Sasha's got these farms on a fresh mill. But means Melvin can come in while there's not as much army. Melvin is in starvation. He's about to get through all these snakes. He picks off 1. No, the Badger's not quite enough to get all the way through. And Sasha's taking game 2. We're going to have a clean sweep. so we've got Squirrel, Pigeon, Skunk, Snake, Badger, Owl again from Melvin on his tournament life, sticking with the same deck. It's Squirrel, Mole, Falcon, Cam, Snake, Boar for Sasha. Sasha going for a quick expansion. Melvin following suit. It's kind of a tricky map to attack. You really have to go round and then through a narrow choke point, or you take this path, which is a bit longer. The road evens it out, but you've got to go through the cabin and the water. And the cabin isn't like a roadblock, really. But because the cabin makes a huge noise that you can hear anywhere on the map when you destroy it, it ends up acting as sort of an alarm system. Like Melvin can hear a big crashing noise and he knows, okay, Sasha's coming in from this side, the west. But it looks like both players are just going to get up to 16 farms and deathball it. Sasha's the one who's going to struggle a bit with his third. This is his next mill. It's a bit tricky to take because it's so far away from here. But again, with the road, and the cabin, you should have enough time, at least the first time, to get over here. Obviously, once the cabin only gets destroyed once. Okay, I'm just going to turn the sound off my phone because the constant beeping is annoying. Oh, Sasha's the one moving. He's building up some moles, but cabin goes down. Melvin, you see, the crash happens. Melvin hears, he immediately starts running over here. Alright, we get a mole push. And Sasha Melvin holds easily. And that was a big loss for... Well, I guess he lost 2 farms. He sold one, he lost the other. So Sasha's not too upset with that, I suppose. Well, he's Sasha, he probably is very upset with it. He's a very upset person. Ooh, now Melvin's coming in with 20 squirrels. Right, Sasha just doesn't have the numbers to hold this. He's using multiple farms. He's trying to get a ball behind this as well. Finally blunts the attack, but that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 farms he lost. He gets the boar cooking, but Melvin's got his badger, and yeah, Sasha hasn't scouted it. And badger beats boar. Now Sasha is getting some snakes as well. He hasn't scouted a tier 3, but he's probably expecting one. Both tier 3s are up. Melvin has a huge army advantage at the moment though, because Sasha's still building falcons. He's seen the badger. These 6 skunks for Melvin, don't really see them doing much. Sasha doesn't have much tier 1. The cams can stay in the gas for ages, so can the boar. The 6 snakes, on the other hand, like, they will gun down the boar pretty quickly, as will the badger. Like, the badger actually doesn't mind fighting the boar because it's a good way for it to build up rev and it can easily move out of the way of the blast. Oh, Sasha looking for a 3rd expansion. Melvin putting 4 farms down on his immediately. Neither player really willing to pull the trigger here. Like, it is tough for Melvin to move into 6 falcons and 4 snakes. But his eco advantage, he's just going from eco advantage for... he's using his eco advantage to get more eco advantage. For 8 farms on this 3rd, whereas Sasha is having to eco up slower, but he is going for it. And now it's difficult for Sasha because he doesn't know which side Melvin's going to attack from. Ooh, Melvin going for an owl as well, which once again Sasha hasn't scouted, but he has got the 8 farms. He needs to actually build them. There's another owl coming down. Is Melvin going to commit to this attack? Not yet. That's just going for more falcons, which honestly is probably the best play. Melvin going for a 2nd badger as well. Sasha really needs to start scouting these tier 3s. But he's constantly worried about Melvin attacking. He wants to be there to micro his army. Like, Melvin just standing here is forcing Sasha to stand here. Which means these tier 3s are getting a lot of time to build. Alright. So Melvin sees a building badger warren. Sees one of the owls. He knows what he's up against. He's seen every unit in Melvin's deck. He's actually going to attack before the tier 3s come out. Dying, but look at all those. Well, all that skunk gas kills the squirrels, but there's only 6 of them. Sasha might have made the right choice here. One of the owl warrens already is dead. That's a dead boar, that's a dead badger. There's nothing left that can shoot up. Melvin only has a 2nd badger warren is going to die. Snake comes out to start shooting these falcons. Is that going to kill all of them? Is that going to be 4 falcons for 1 snake? Not quite. Okay. But Sasha did lose all of his army. And there's really just... Melvin doesn't have any squirrels to shoot these falcons with. He's getting another badger. Sasha has sold his cams. He's getting another boar. Sasha has lost a farm. Melvin hasn't. So Melvin is ahead in eco, but the tier 3, losing the tier 3 ones was a big deal. But now Melvin has the owl up. He's got double tier 3s, and his owl has had time to build up its mouse count. Like, the owl, as soon as it comes out, is really not an effective unit. He's trying to build up his mice. It's actually a brilliant shield for the badger. I think Melvin has it here. 4 for Sasha is not here in time. Lost his farming mill, can't rebuild any units, and Sasha not getting the clean sweep. Melvin putting a point on the board. squirrel, pigeon, skunk, snake, badger owl for Melvin. Yeah, squirrel, mole, falcon, cam, snake, boar. Both players sticking with the same decks. I don't know if Sasha's deck... I mean, if Melvin gets his badger owl combo out, I don't know how easily Sasha's deck can handle it. Theoretically, you've got boar cam to deal with the mice. And then the falcon snake to deal with the badger. Sasha going cam first. Melvin going for snakes. Sasha try to take his things around the side. Catches out some of the squirrels. That is a dead chameleon. 2 dead chameleons. Sasha hunting. Picks off a couple of pigeons, but he's going to retreat. He's going to commit to a full attack. Melvin, building 3 warrens on the front lines, is probably gearing up for a full assault. Like Melvin, I learnt to my detriment. That's pretty good snake micro, although that one gets picked off. Okay, these warrens could backfire. If Melvin loses, then the moles can get right on them and knock out 180 food, as well as a decent chunk of Melvin's unit production very quickly. One warren down, 2 warrens down, 3 warrens down, 4 warrens down, and yep, Sasha takes it. All of Melvin's units, once his units die, because his army with the snakes, it relies on like being able to retreat, but he'd set himself, he couldn't retreat without losing all those warrens, and if he lost all those warrens, that's 240 food, and not to mention all the time it takes to rebuild them. But alright, so Sasha takes a win. And that's going to be the end of the PBC this week, and the end of the stream. You want to check the VOD out, go on my YouTube channel. And I probably won't be streaming this week, so I won't bother saying that I'm going to and then breaking the promise. I'm just going to say I'm probably not gonna. I think once the new year starts, I'll be streaming a lot more, but for now, I'm just going to have to call it there and see you next week. Should see you next week, unless the next week is the 23rd. No, it isn't. Alright. Well, thanks for coming, everybody. Have a good night. Toodles.